What's up everybody, my name is Hunter, I'm with Admotive. This week I asked you guys to drop some questions on my Facebook post about anything related to marketing, sales, scaling, anything shop-wise. So without further ado, let's get into this. Question number one, how much will having a nicer shop move the needle in closing more customers? And should I invest into my lobby and lounge area? There isn't going to be a definitive, quantifiable metric I can give you on this one, whether it closes more or not, but it is much better than having a shop that isn't clean or not organized. But having people stop by your shop, it is gonna wow them, it is actually gonna close more customers. So when it's clean, organized, think about what that tells that consumer in their mind versus if it's something like this, for example, where it's not built out to be a shop, what does that person have in their mind about how they're perceiving me? Because whether I like it or not, we are being judged online, in person, as a business. You want to make sure that every step in the process, you are reaffirming them, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, that they made the right decision to go to you. We have numerous shops as clients that have these absolutely beautiful lobbies and lounges, and actually there's some really cool things. They do like a bourbon lounge or even a cigar lounge for one of the shops that we do. When you go the extra mile, again, just think of yourself, what does it actually tell that customer? If you're willing to go the extra mile and you put this much energy into just the lobby itself, imagine how much extra quality it would be when there are vehicles in their shop and you're actually performing the service on them. And we use these lobbies and lounges actually in the marketing materials too, because when someone is looking at, let's just say, shop number one versus shop number two, if shop number one has these really cool features and actually builds that trust factor a little bit more, that person is gonna be a little bit more inclined to go with a shop that has that quality. So overall, I definitely recommend investing into a lobby and play into it a little bit more. Have some fun with it. Question number two, how do you lead and guide shops through the year? So of course, paid ads are our bread and butter. It's something that we do all day, every day, but we do proactively help out with content creation and even auditing the sales process. So when it comes up to new content ideas, we always do live calls about providing new content ideas, different trends, organic strategies such as YouTube strategy, social strategy, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all those different platforms. If we see something that maybe you haven't posted in a while or we have a different idea, we have multiple different channels internally that we do with our shops and providing feedback and different ideas. Because we do have access to over 100 shops live data, so we always can pull different trends and see what's working and what's not working across the whole entire country, even around the whole world too. And the biggest thing that we do like to pay attention to is, of course, the sales process, because as we all know, leads are nothing without actual sales. But it also has the greatest impact on the success of our shops too. So if someone's closing at 10%, and if you go from just 10% closing rate to a 20% closing rate, that's doubling the business without having to pay any more into ads. So in a nutshell, we offer a lot of consulting, a lot of one-on-one live calls to do whatever it takes to help our shop succeed for the year. Third question, what do you recommend as a rebrand for a business that's already been well established under a detailing name? So if you haven't seen already, Luke Howe, our co-founder, already did a couple of videos with Chris Giovanni over at Detailers Roadmap talking about this topic, and this is where this question came from. So really, it just depends on how you want to be perceived. I always believe in laying out your business vision over the next couple of years on just really what you want to be. What do you want your business to look like in a year from now? 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I always want to make sure that we're always talking about what the business is going to look like, right? Because I don't think anyone launches a business and they don't want to be in business for longer than a year. So if you have the intentions of being in business for at least a year, why not think about how you can set the business up for success in the future? So if you're thinking about a rebrand, I recommend doing it sooner rather than later. Would it hurt short term for, let's say, SEO purposes? Yes, absolutely, because you are now removing your name, you're changing it up, and you're essentially telling Google that you're almost a new business. But do the benefits over a long enough time horizon outweigh the cons of switching your name? Most likely, yes. There are, of course, multiple seven-figure shops that have detailing in their name, for example. That's not to say you can't be successful with that one. I don't think that really hurts your chances of hitting your goals by any means, but I do think it helps, again, the perceived quality and the perception that the market has over your shop. So for example, if I had Admotive Detailing versus Admotive Auto Protection, at a first glance and at face value, which one would you think would perform PPF services higher? Which one do you think is a little more specialized in that niche? I don't think there's really a wrong answer here, but just ask your top customers and ask your market what they think. Fourth question, what service do you recommend to send text blasts? So if you're not already using any kinds of text blasts already, it is the best way to re-engage dead leads. It's the best way to stay on top of your past customer list, and it has the highest open rate when compared to email newsletters, for example. But there is a balance to do. You can't overdo this one because you're gonna get a lot of opt-outs and you might actually be flagged by the carrier. So some of the most popular and my favorite platforms are Rayable, OrbisX, and my personal favorite is HighLevel. All these platforms will allow you to send these mass texts out to everybody, thousands of people, almost instantly. Last question for this video. What should the budget split be between Google Ads and Facebook ads? This is always going to be a debated question, and my answer is going to change over the years as these platforms do change. But as of Q1 2025, at the time of recording this video, the best results we've seen are a 75-25 split, with 75% of that going towards Google Ads and 25% of that going to Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, of course, don't take that as face value. This is super subjective. Each market is completely different, and each service requires a little different budget split on different platforms. Like PPF, for example, it performs much better on Google versus Facebook ads. There are some shops where we are exclusively on Facebook, and there are some shops where we're exclusively on Google. But I was never a big believer on just keeping all of your eggs in one basket in case something happens. But Google ads have been the higher quality in terms of lead generation. Naturally, that's where people are searching for these services, and Google ads have been great to us past few years. And then Facebook is really good for maybe pick up the slack when maybe over the winter time, for example, if you were in the north. Facebook ads are really good at proactively grabbing new leads and showing your business to other people who may not know you exist, or maybe you need to show these ads to people who visit your website and get some people over the edge to choose you over another competitor. And if you want the playbook on what kind of Facebook ads do work in terms of video content, I'll link that video below. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm gonna make another video going over the next set of questions.